Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Derek. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. As the snow whips across northern Detroit, snowing like a bad bear. Snow coming down. Freezing temperatures. Good morning. Good morning. Is it snowing where you guys are? Anybody that it's actively snowing, give me a thumbs up. If it's actively snowing where you are, thumbs me up. Thumbs me up. Anybody that's getting an active snow job, give me a thumbser. Rain doesn't count today. Poor Washington getting hammered. Nerdy's got a pink sunshine. That's beautiful. Who else is getting snowed in? Sandman almost heading to Australia. Ghastly, it's snowing right in your neck of the woods too, right, bro? Sandy's competing with Jesus Christ in Australia this morning. Right, Ghastly? It's snowing pretty darn good here. Yeah, that's a good Detroit snow job. Give me anyone else. Anyone else snowing? Anybody else have snow coming down? Sammy P's got snow dumping. I believe it. Sammy P. Snowing all over the driveway. Ghastly, 200 milligrams of pure ghost. There's nothing else in it except psilocybin. 200 milligrams of pop ghost. Okay, Kello, see you when you get back. So 200 milligrams, it's 1/5 of a gram. You're welcome. That's 1/5 of a gram, bro. Perfect for a microdose. Good morning, everybody. And good it shall be. Good morning to Sparky the Sparky Sparkerton. Good morning. Any more likes available this morning? 19 people, 8 likes. Probably just going to take a while for the likes to catch up. You guys are just waking up, just exercising your thumbs for the first time this morning. I get it. The old lazy thumb. Good morning, Laura. I hope you're having a divine morning. Good morning, Jesus Christ. Sliding down the old fireman pole. Good morning, you crazy coot. Good morning. Here come the thumbs. You're right, Ghastly. Now that people's thumbs are warming up, you can start seeing them in the like column here. Good morning. So today, I'm with Laura. I'm not catching them in real time either, but I go back and check them. I've been at my grow house when they've been live all of these times. And I tend to not bring my phone over there. I have on rare occasions, and I do once in a while to take pictures, but I've stopped even doing that. I don't even bring my phone. It's a good way to release. Give me 5 people that get that. Heading over to the grow house, let's just leave our phone behind. Right? I can always check it when I get back. But I have to get rid of my leash. I have to get rid of my leash more. The phone has become such a leash. And then I know they're tracking me everywhere. I'm not in a paranoid way, but just AI and everything. I just I have to cut the phone usage down. Yeah. Because even my apps are tracking me. You know what I mean? I'm not even thinking of the police or something. That's exactly right, Mr. Phillips. They leech me a little bit. They're taking some of my power away. So, Muscle Up, you're right. It doesn't matter anymore. It's really hard to even do a crime. Drive down the street and half the doorbells are tracking you. So nerdy, I'm fighting back. But it's not a fight. It's just a social consciousness choice. To calm down with the phone as much as I can, even though it's its own addiction. See what I'm talking about, Niffy? My phone listens to me. It's really... I told you guys about what happened one time. My tablet, my iPad was listening to me. Oh boy, this might be a bad news morning. Isn't this thing charging? I watched a thing on Netflix for the last couple of nights. I have to say it wasn't that great, but it was pretty good in its own way. It was really simple. It was a simple story. It's called, what's it called? Love and Death? Is that what it was called? Wait a second. Oh.
I'm the guy who quit his job, sold everything except for my cats, buy boats, and sail around the world.
Okay. Sorry about that. Love and Death. Love and Death was the name of the show. It wasn't that great, but what I loved about it was set in the late 1970s. Supposedly a true story. It happened in Texas. A lady killed another lady with an axe. But I loved the sets. I loved looking at the decorations, the decor, and I just loved the sets because it reminded me of the late 70s when I was still a youth. And just looking at the sets, that's all I can keep saying, the background and all of the welcome to the 1970s styles, the style of hair, the style of clothes. It was fun to watch. And what got me was the phone. The old phone, avocado colored phone. Yep, avocado color. I think ours might have been avocado. It was either avocado or Harvest Gold. Bell bottoms, just Eric Anderson. Sideburns. It was just really neat to go back in time to watch this. And the phone on the wall in the kitchen. And when it would ring, and she'd have to go put down everything she's working on in the kitchen and go over and answer the phone. And I'm thinking, I remember those days. You were super cool. You were super cool back in the day if you went down to Radio Shack. There's one for you right there, Radio Shack. If you went down to Radio Shack and you got the extended cord for your phone, so you could turn yourself into a knot. You could do macrame with your phone cord. You remember that? Because regular phone cord's what, 5-6 feet long? But try one. You go down to Radio Shack, right? And you get the big long one. And you could be on the phone from the kitchen stretched all the way to the living room. And you'd stretch, and then when you'd come back, it would all be knotted up like octopus. Turn yourself into an octopus. Radio Shacks used to be cool, you're right. I used to go into a Radio Shack just to look. Go stare at diodes. Can I see your capacitors, please? No, I don't want any. I just want to look at them. Do-it-yourself radios. Make your own little crystal radio. Do you remember that, Hags? Who here made a crystal radio when they were a youngster? Easiest thing in the world, a crystal radio. Chemistry sets were cool. That's another one. Crystal radio. Homemade project, a little do-it-yourself project you can do in an afternoon. Cordless phones. Remember that? The very first one was the size of a log. It's like this big. You're holding it up to the side of your head. It's got an antenna on it that's talking to the antenna on your phone, on the table. Hello? And you always had to talk louder because you think the cord amplified. Hello? You had to yell. You didn't really, but you thought you did. And then wait a minute, what about when they added 2 to the same Landsat? Remember, you had 2. You're like, oh man. Man, I'm living Jetson style. Okay? Remember that? It was like the cordless, you could have one in this room and one in the other room. And then you hit a beeper, a little button on the one to find the lost one. You only have 2 cordless phones in the house and you always lost one. Okay? How did that happen? You always lost one. You always had to push the button to go find the missing one. Hello! Some of you kids don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. We'll move to more current subject. Cordless phones. The 80s into the 90s. Right, Sandman? You could always blame the sister. Jesus Christ, back in the day you had to pay like $3 a minute to do what you like to do in Australia. Yeah, it was like a base phone. Okay? Jesus Christ cost him about $3 a minute to enjoy himself. Okay? Jesus Christ in Australia. Jesus, I tell ya. Today's going to be a little different day because I need to be gone by about 10 o'clock, maybe a minute or two before. to head over to the grow house. I have a busy day this morning. Oh, Jesus Christ, in Australia. I have a really busy day today. Got a lot to do, got a bunch of tubs to start. Gonna go into our winter planting for a big harvest coming up. So I have to head over there. And the worst thing is it's snowing. Let me show you guys one more time the snow here. It's coming down pretty good. I am an outstanding driver. I drive very, very well, except for in the snow. It's been almost 6 years I've lived here in Detroit from Southern California. And I'll never forget my first drive in the snow. It was my first. I had been here for part of the summer through the fall. Now I'm going to experience my first winter in Detroit. So a friend of mine had been visiting and needed to get back to the airport. So I drove him to the airport, but it wasn't snowing. Everything was plowed good. So no problem, get him to the airport. Airport's about a 35 to 40 minute drive from my house. Okay? Turn around at the airport and I start to head back and the snow starts dumping. Now it's active snow. And my knuckles that held the steering wheel started turning the same color as the snow. White knuckling. Anyways, I thought I don't want to do the freeway. I'm going to find a street way home. And in Detroit it's pretty easy because everything's done on a grid. So it's not that hard to find your way around, even if you don't know what the heck you're doing. So I get off the freeway and I'm heading up one of the major boulevards. Lights turning to red. Pops goes to hit the brakes. Whoop, 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 whoop. Spin all the way around and blam. These two wheels hit the curb. Pop the curb. Now I'm up half like this. And both of these wheels have been popped flat. And both of them bent rims. And who knows what else was going to be wrong with my axles. And I'm sitting there going, but I'm from California. I had to pick up the old cell phone. Yeah, it was like one of those, I'm telling you, my behind hole was this tight. You couldn't have driven a nail through it. Okay? First experience in the snow here in Detroit, I crashed my car. Couple grand's worth of damage to get it back on the road. That's after having to sit there and wait for a friend to come and rescue me. I didn't have a lot of local friends yet. So I'm trying to find somebody that have to get off work and come and get me. But yeah, nerdy, the pucker factor. Woo! Scared me to death. Cracked my car up really good. Yep, I did. I did exactly what you guys are saying. It was scary. So, needless to say, I still have a little PTSD about driving in the snow. If I don't have to, I don't. If I don't have to, I don't. Okay? I'll stay home. Or have them come to me. But today I have to drive. Wish me luck. Couple of rando factos, and then I'm going to change things up this morning a little bit. Falling air pressure causes pain in birds' ears. So, if birds are flying low to the ground, it almost always means that a thunderstorm is coming. How do you like that? That's interesting. Sitting in the back of a plane makes you 40% more likely to survive a crash. I don't know about that. I don't see 40% of crash victims surviving. Seems like if one goes, they all go. Not sure about that one. Okay, so this one's pretty basic. This one's pretty basic. I don't even know why this is in the life hack book. So we've got a bit of an incline, right? And it's grass. And you've got to mow it. Which way would you guys mow it? Up and down or crossways? Which way would you guys mow the slope of grass? Up and down or crossways? Okay. Which way are you doing it? Cleaning's saying to heck with it, just get the goat out. Which way do you do it? Crossways or up and down? Well, it depends on the angle. One of you is saying go across at an angle. When mowing grass on a slope, mow up and down, not sideways. About 95 Americans are killed each year because of not knowing this. Don't forget, when you're going downhill, the mower's pulling you, right? When you're going uphill, well, you aren't pushing it. Could it flip back over? Crossways, it's going to drag you. So go up and down. Jesus Christ, please don't comment. Okay? That's what they say. If you're in for a long drive at night, Aaron, that's crazy. They're pulling it up by a rope. If you're in for a long drive at night, listen to comedians. It's impossible to fall asleep while laughing. That's a pretty good one. Truckers got all the comedians in their CDs in the truck. It's impossible to fall asleep while laughing. That's probably true. You can fall asleep listening to music, but not laughing. Interesting. Let me give you guys an update. We want to thank and keep in mind the kindness of Sue Littlemeyer. Sue Littlemeyer. Sue Little. She has been staying in constant touch with our good friend Billy D. Okay? She wrote to me this morning. An update from Billy D. So thank you so much, Sue, for keeping us up to date. Bill is listening, you guys. I don't know if he can read the comments, but he is listening. Sue writes, "Hi, Pops. Hope you and Ruff are feeling great. We are. We're doing great over here, Sue. Thank you. Just a quick update right now. Bill has MRSA, MRSA, and he's pretty depressed about everything, which is understandable. He could really use any positive words with hope and light, for he's in a dark place at this time. He's been in the hospital a week this time, and unfortunately it's not looking like he can go home for quite some time. He's stuck there, not able to smoke, didn't have any gummies or edibles packed, and nothing to even microdose. So I'm sure he's about to climb the walls. They keep doing IV antibiotics, but looks like it's still going to take some time. They're looking to place him in a rehab place right there by the hospital to continue with wound treatment and prepare for an amputation. I'm going to be finding out how to go about sending a little care package, books and things to try to help spend the time. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I'm sure you'll give Bill a shout out because he does listen in. He also wants to thank everyone for all the well wishes and prayers. Let Mark Z know that his package was delivered. His neighbor is holding it for him. He does have the USPS app, so he can see what mail and packages come in. But his neighbor doesn't drive, I think, so it'll be a while before he receives them. So we sent a package, a small package, and Hagues sent a package. Hagues gave me a package to send for him when I got home, which I did. So Bill should be receiving those. Sue, I'm gonna nominate Niffy. No, I have to nominate myself. I take it back. I'm gonna nominate myself. For the next 5 days, Cleany sent him something too, Niffy, thank you. Yeah, he is going to be getting a nice package. When he gets home. For the next 5 days, send Pops anything that you want to be sent to Bill from you. It can even be a book you've read, used, we don't care, tattered corners, because the words are still on the page. Anything that you feel like would cheer Bill up, send to Pops, okay? And I'll put it all together in one box and send one bigger box to Bill. Okay? Now, you guys should know my address. If you don't, ask for it at the Detroit Mush Lab at gmail.com. That's my email. So email me anything. Make sure that you put that it's for Bill, otherwise Ruff is going to think it's for him. And we don't want Ruff getting carried away like that. Okay? So if you want to send Bill something, send it to Paparoo, and I'll put everything in about 5 or 6 days. So it means you got to send something the next day or two. Just grab something. Grab a regifter off of your shelf somewhere. Okay? Grab a little something just to let Bill know. I want to rain him, even if it's a card. Something. Please. I can't imagine what he's going through. I can't. I don't want to be in the hospital, let alone be looking forward to some of the stuff that he has to. Okay? Nurzy, have a great day. Bill, I know you're listening, the comments left and right over here, if you get a chance to read them, they're all wishing you absolutely the best. Tons of love, tons of prayers, tons of healing thoughts. And I can guarantee you, Billy D, they're all super authentic. So we're thinking of you out here, bro. And let us know, me personally, let Paparoo know if there's something um, that I can do in any special way for you. So today we're jumping straight to, I've been reading another book. Some of you that know me know I read like 3 books at a time. I'll read about 3 or 4 chapters in one book, and then I put it down and I'll pick up a different book, and then I'll read some, and then I put it, and then I usually have about 3 going at one time. And I'm not bragging, but I'll have them done, all 3 usually within a week, and then I start another batch. And they're usually not about the same subject. And that keeps my brain super active, and I'm reading about this, and I'm reading about that, and I'm reading about this. And I'm a pretty fast reader, so I get in a lot of material. So I currently am reading a Western novel. I'm reading about the stock market collapse in 1929. These are the 2 books. And then the 3rd book that I just started a couple of nights ago is this book, Dr. Wayne Dyer. Change your thoughts. Change your life. Living the Wisdom of the Tao. T-A-O. Now, generally, I don't get into Eastern mysticism. So this book was given to me as a gift 6 months ago, and I really didn't pick it up. I was like, well, I'll get to that when I have a gap in my reading. Boy, am I glad I did pick this book up. Because it isn't mystical, and it isn't religious. It's, Rodman has read it. It's really a good book. And today what I'm going to do, actually for the next couple of days, I'm going to read direct passages out of it. I'll be quiet, and I'll let Dr. Wayne Dyer talk to you guys. But first, what is the Tao? It can be pronounced Tao or Tao. T-A-O. And I looked up the pronunciation for it. It can be pronounced Tao or Tao. What is the Tao? It's a fundamental, unnameable principle in Chinese philosophy and religion, meaning the way or the path, representing the natural, spontaneous source and flow of the entire universe, guiding all existence in a life of harmony through effortless action and acceptance. Excuse me. As described in the Tao Te Ching, it's the ultimate reality beyond words that creates, governs, and moves everything, encouraging living in balance with nature's rhythms rather than fighting them. That's what has me attracted to this book and the passages that I've been reading. Pops is so much more in his life today encouraged to experience nature. I was running around too busy being a human in the hell of the world to really concern myself with nature. And it's been in the last 6 to 7 years, mostly 5, since I really started growing mushrooms, that I reconnected, if I was ever connected, I was never this connected to the earth and to nature and to doing things naturally and to looking at how does nature do things. Because obviously it's worked for eons, and that's the natural thing to do. The humans come in and upset the natural cycle, and we do things in the human way. And sometimes the human way will line up with nature's way, but many times it doesn't. At the end of the day, nature's never wrong. Whatever nature's doing is correct in my existence. So I'm better off as a person aligning myself with that rhythm than my own. I don't always like nature. This morning, the snow, I don't want to drive in it, but I'll tell you what, the snow's going to bring a lot of good side consequences too. So nature knows what it's doing. Heating up, cooling down, all of the things that it's doing, it knows what it's doing. It's been doing it for millions and millions and millions of years. Give me 1 second. The 35th verse. All men will come to him who keeps to the one. They flock to him and receive no harm. For in him they find peace, security, and happiness. Music and dining are passing pleasures, yet they cause people to stop. How bland and insipid are the things of this world when one compares them to the Tao. When you look for it, there's nothing to see. When you listen for it, there is nothing to hear. When you use it, it cannot be exhausted. Take a few moments and think. When I think of pleasure, what activities really come to mind? How do I distinguish between what I find enjoyable and what I don't? Generally, pleasure is described as something experienced by the senses and available here in the world form. Perhaps you experience it after a sumptuous meal, in your favorite music, or on your golf course. But it's most certainly a welcome motivating force for you. Problems can occur, however. A welcome motivating force for you. Problems can occur, however, when such pursuits become the primary focus of life. In other words, an emphasis on worldly pleasures can quite easily create an imbalance in your system, leading to upset and disease, obesity, eating disorders, drug and alcohol abuse, addictions of every description, and preoccupation with plastic surgery are just a few of the undesirable results. Most everything defined as pleasure, listen to this. Good morning, Free. Most everything defined as pleasure is temporary. Stop and think about that. I'm going to give that 15-second silence. I want you to think about that. Is it true for you? Most everything defined as pleasure is temporary. Which leads to the next thought. So if you need more and more of it, then it has a grip on you. I need more pleasure. More, 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 more. It's got a grip on me. What you desire so strongly becomes your jailer, trapping you into believing that it will bring you peace, security, or happiness. But it never does. Worldly pleasures only seduce you into becoming dependent on them. Our world has seduced us into becoming dependent on pleasures. It's true. Look at TV. Look at the billboards we pass every day on the way to work. Look at every written material that's out there flashing in lights. Look at Las Vegas and every casino. The sporting events. As much as I like sports. The world's seducing us into becoming dependent on it. Dependent on it. Worldly pleasures only seduce you into becoming dependent on them, and they leave you always wanting more. It's a craving that can never be satisfied. You need another great meal in order to have that pleasure again, because it vanished almost immediately upon the completion of your dessert. You need to keep the music playing, because when it stops, your enjoyment stops too. All addictions scream out this depressing message. You'll never ever get enough of what you want. Contrast this bleak picture of pleasure with what Lao Tzu, who wrote the Tao, calls bland and insipid, with the ecstasy of the Tao. Just for a moment, imagine having the perspective of the Tao as you read this verse. And see if you can change the way you look at this idea of pleasure. The benefits of having a concept that harmonizes with the Tao are outlined in the opening lines. All people will flock to you, and they'll find peace, security, and happiness when they do. The reason why they'll discover these three jewels is because you exude the qualities. Your emphasis is on the Tao. It's who you are, and therefore what you have to give away. You're now changing the way you look at things. So your idea of pleasure shifts beyond the worldly nudges of your senses. You taste your food, but you're in awe of the magic that produced the delectables you're eating, as well as the perfection of this incredible cycle that continues in the elimination and reuse of what you've consumed. I'm not even tasting the flavors anymore. I'm tasting nature and the cycle of nature. The awe that's inspired in the concept of what I'm using now, I'll be reusing. I can grow another harvest of. The cycle. The constant behind the ever-changing world becomes your new source of pleasure, expressed in the wonderment and bewilderment you feel. Yes, of course, you continue to enjoy your meals, but your pleasure is in being at one with what allows it all to transpire. Addictions become impossible because you no longer try to get worldly pursuits to satisfy you. It's realizing that you can fly when you've been walking faster and faster but never getting enough speed or altitude. You keep trying to satisfy a natural longing to be aloft through the pleasure of rapid walking. Now you observe why nature flows. You clearly see it, never asking for more, never using up more, and absolutely never demanding that it be provided with more than is necessary to maintain a perfect balance. You don't need more. You stop asking for more because you realize I'm receiving the perfect amount. I'm perfectly placed. The realm of passing pleasures is no longer your central place of self-identification. You're at peace, feeling secure and happy because you've changed your worldview to include the infinite Tao. How could addictions even compare? I'm there. How could addictions even compare to the life I'm living? To trying to live a balanced, for-agreement-centric life that's filled with service. Addictions cannot compare. Imagine a heroin addict believing that peace, security, and happiness are available with an inexhaustible supply of opiates. That scenario is impossible because the pleasure that drug brings lasts but a few seconds, and then the exact opposite of peace, security, and happiness clicks in. The addict keeps trying to fly by running faster. Ultimately, he comes to despise his life and destroy himself in the process. Such is the destiny of those who seek the pleasures of the world, of the senses to fulfill their longing, and the natural ability to transcend to the physical plane. Here's what Lao Tzu is offering you in this profound verse that we read. Notice the eternal bliss that's always with you, even when the delicacies are out of sight. Change your way of thinking of yourself as a totally physical being. Are you guys liking this today? Are you guys liking this today? I'm reading it straight out of the book. But I don't know if it's clicking. Is this clicking with you guys? Looking for a little bit of feedback? I hope so. I'm been reading this book and loving it, and I knew there was things in here that were good for us. Good. Thank you for your comments back. Let me go on. I have about 10 more minutes available to me. I love this. Especially the idea of an addict keeps running faster and faster in his attempt to fly. Change your way of thinking of yourself as a totally physical being. Instead, recognize that worldly pleasures that tend to be overdone are attempts to transcend the physical, which isn't going to happen without tapping into the natural connection of the Tao. Stop equating sensory delight with the Tao-inspired bliss that's available to you. The bliss, somebody mentioned it this morning, a pink sunrise. For us, little mushroom growers, the bliss of seeing our first little shroom pop up out of the cave. Watching it for the next 7, 8, 14 days as it flowers completely. The bliss of the smells. those smells, especially on harvest, when you're taking the fruit off the top of a cake, and that pungent earth farm smell that comes to you. You can't buy that in a capsule or a syringe. The bliss of holding your hand out and helping somebody stand up. The bliss of volunteering somewhere and giving some of your time and space to somebody else. The bliss of welcoming somebody new. There are so many things in our life that we don't stop and center ourselves in the bliss of it. Enjoy all you experience through the senses. Love your fine dining. Bask in the melodies of your favorite music. And be appreciative of the excitement of sexual energy. But notice that this is all coming from your sensory self, which is highly adaptable to this world. Highly adaptable also means highly permutable. We can overdo. We can confab. Notice that this is all coming from your sensory self. Then seek your Tao self, which transcends the physical and explores its pleasures. Re-examine what's true and what's lasting and what enjoyment is. Even though the efforts of the Tao may have initially have no appeal to your seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling faculties, they'll fulfill the longing you're trying to sate with worldly pleasures. You won't experience the Tao with your five senses. It's another sense altogether. It's not physical, it's not sensory. When you're chasing any passing fantasy, begin recognizing its value in the here and now, but stop trying to get it to satisfy a greater longing. Introduce transcendent thankfulness to your everyday life. Make it a daily practice to give thanks for the presence of the eternal Tao that's always with you. From an appreciative viewpoint, the world that you formerly desired will begin to look different. In the grateful awareness, feelings of being incomplete with worldly pleasures not being available are replaced with thankfulness. What used to be a need for worldly delight is replaced with gratitude and contentment for being aware of the aspects of you, the new ones you're experiencing internally, free of physical and earthly limitations and confinement. Living with conscious appreciation will attract more people and more experiences, enriching your balance of mortal and eternal awareness. Open yourself to the unremitted and unlimited love and abundance of your center, of your Tao, and you'll attract more of that same love and abundance to you. The law of attraction. Your world has changed because you see the Tao where you previously only noticed your mortal self needing. worldly pleasures. I'm going to read a couple more out of his book this week, you guys. I'm not trying to teach anything religious here. It's more a new way of thinking for me. It's a new way of thinking. HB is saying we do have everything we need. And the world's taught me to ask for more. And we're not going there. We want to live a life that's centered in a natural and balanced way. And I want to treat every living creature with dignity and respect. And we'll follow up. There's some more really neat passages in here. That was the one I decided to get started with today. Especially because I've been working with, addiction lately. That'd be a great message at a 12-step meeting. The physical pleasures got them where they are. Chasing those and then wanting more and more. And soon your body actually becomes dependent on it. And you've got to get past that dependence, literal physical dependence, which happens quicker than we think because our bodies are such beautiful mechanisms. But then you're fighting the brain. It's not your senses anymore, it's your thinking. You guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna cut a little bit shorter than usual this morning because I'm gonna hit still snowing, but not as bad. Anyways, I'm gonna hit the road here. 4 things I try to practice every day. I don't try to practice, I do practice every day. Sometimes my best isn't as good as the next day or the last day, but do my best. That's number 4, do my best at not making assumptions or having expectations. At not taking things personal. The Tao is going to teach me that right there. It is not about me. There's such a bigger picture and a bigger cycle, and it's not centered on me. When I center it on me, I'm sick. When I push it out there and I give it to the world and I give the best I've got, I'm working on being healthy. Number 1, be impeccable with your words. We didn't use a single word here in the last hour that was mean, controversial, divisive, sinful. Nothing came out of our mouths. Except some guy in Australia. No, nothing came out of our mouths. The comments, everything. If we can do it for an hour, we only have about, another 15 to go, and then you're going to sleep for 8, right? Be impeccable. Use your words to help other people grow. And give. Even if it's just the 2 little copper coins that the old lady in the back of the temple put in the collection box. Just drop off for 2 mites. Have a great day, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you very, very much, and I thank you from the bottom of my pop heart, not pop tart, pop heart, for letting me be here and showing up every day. I appreciate you guys more than I could ever say. Nurse and Sammy P and Jesus Christ and Must Love and Sue Little, thank you. And HB doing his best and Sanum. There you go, San. That's great. I don't miss it either. Pacers 420 Mike Barabal. Kim, I shall drive as safe. I'm going to be a grandma out there. Why not? People call me Grandpa. Aaron, Nipper Mama, thank you, dear. Good discussion this morning. Derek Anderson, Herbie Von Werby Kebab, Pacey's, loving you. Michael Patterson, 10,000 things beguile. Discrimination is the key. I love that. We're right in his alley with what we're teaching this week. HP and Classic, centered mind and peace for us all. And we're going to include Billy T in that. Nipper Mama, Brian C. Pacer, Sanum, Herbie Von Werby Kebab, great job with the likes, I agree. Aaron, Derek, Sir T. Anderson, Pacey's, Cleany all the way. Sue Little Vagey, have a wonderful day, dear. Mike Baraball, Jesus Christ in Australia. Galini and Mike Baraball, Sammy P, Nippy Nersey, Joe Deasy, Cyber Joliezy, Emily, as in Daniel, Nippy, Carney the Carnivorous Carnivorson. Thank you, Ghastly, for being here. Herbie, and we've got Daniel and Cleany, Trenty the Trenty Trenterson, Sammy P, Brian C, Haig, snapping it all day, baby. Emily, I should say Daniel, Jesus, and Trenty and Viva. There's the Pidgey Page. Herbie and Mr. Phillips and Jesus and Mello. You know it's not snowing down there. And then we got Ghastly, Satanist, Laura, have a divine day, Derek, Mike Baraball, Herbie Von Werby, Cabroken, Ferdy, Kebab, Ghastly and Zozo LSD, see ya, Michael Shanti, Nersey, Was the Wazzy Wazolio, Jesus Christ, Herbie, Notorious Skate, Mike Baraball, Ners. That's a great call, Nurse. I still have some of that, Sal. Thank you. Mellow, Bubblegum, Poppin' Back, and Kim. Have a great day, Kim. Mike, and Nippy, and Jesus, and Pops, and Peace, and Love, and Service. Centered Kindness. Pops out. See you guys tomorrow.